Okay guys, another little shop update. On the last shop update, I kind of told you a couple of different things. I told you that I was going to get an air compressor unit for the Ram truck, and I did get that, and I mounted it. So I'm going to show you a brief video of the unboxing, and then it's going to be a brief description of how I mounted it and where I mounted it on the truck, and an explanation of that. I also, in the last shop update, told you that I had bought another truck at an auction. The truck was located in Colorado, Craig, Colorado, which is just south of Steamboat Springs. And I went out to get that, and I'm going to show you the truck. I'm really excited about it. When I got there, it turned out that that truck was in a lot better shape than you could see from the pictures, and I am extremely happy about it. So I'll show you some shots of the truck on the trailer, and then I'm going to take you out and give you a walk around on the truck. So here we go. If you want to see anything from the last shop update about that air compressor, me mentioning it, or about the truck that I had purchased, I'm going to put a link to the other shop update up there. So here we go into the shop. Okay, my last shop update, I told you that I was going to get a air compressor for the Ram, and here it is. It's a Saturday. I just got it in. I just opened the box, haven't taken anything out or looked at anything yet. So what I'm going to do is take the stuff out, lay it out for you, and then take you back and give you a brief description of what it is and how it's going to work. Okay, so here's the stuff laid out. Of course, the instruction booklet. This is an inflation hose. It's actually got a tire inflator stem on it. This is a fuse connection, the remote, and a charger wire for it, air tubing, the cord that goes to the ECU or the control module unit. That's if you want to install the inflation valves on the frame. I've already got mine installed in the rear bumper because that's the way I power the airbags right now. Of course, the air compressor, as I said, the ECU. This is the intake for the compressor, the air supply, remote port for it, and the air tank on it. I'm going to have to change it. You know, when I bought this unit, they said that you could use it as a a two-channel thing. You could do front or back. They show right and left on this thing, and it's not. It doesn't matter. But when you use this, it's a function. It kind of indicates right left on the control module. I'm just gonna tee it in. So they only provided one tee for the thing because on their thing they have one port going to the right bag, one port going to the left bag. So I've got to tee the two lines together down there. And then leave the other port so that I can use it on the shocker hitch. But anyways, I'll bring you back. I had the truck up in the air. Before I can do really much of anything, I've got to find another tee or tees that I can use in the airline to tie the two bags together. So let me do that first, and then I'll bring you back. I kind of, like I was going to say, I had the truck up in the air, was kind of looking for a convenient spot, and I'm not really sure where I want to put it. I was actually thinking about taking the DEF tank out putting it where that is mounted now, but there's a lot of wiring to it, and I'm not really sure if terminating that wiring is going to create a problem with a fault code coming up. But let me explore some options. Okay, I'm over here at the welding bench, and I've got the instruction booklet for the air compressor up. And what it is up here is a compressor. Logically, it's all labeled. Compressor goes to the air tank. It comes down through. Now this is a airline so that you can use a full charge of the air into an airline to fill something, or maybe run pneumatic tools off of. But then it comes down to the ECU, to the supply, and it goes to the two airbags. Now there's 4 ports. The supply is on the bottom. This is the exhaust port on the top. So when you want to deflate the bags, that's how it comes. It relieves this pressure back out through that. So then you have this left and right port going to the airbags. The right port goes to the right airbag, left port goes to the left airbag. What I have on my truck right now is a manual inflation system. So I have a airbag, a left airbag, and a right airbag, and there's 2 airlines that come back to Schrader valves located on the back bumper. And when I want to fill it, I just put an air pump on it or an air check on it and fill the airbags to whatever pressure I want. So now what I'm going to do with this kit, they only give you 1 T, and that's for the inflation hose or inflation nozzle to use to inflate things or to run air tools off of it. What I'm going to do now is take my existing airlines and cut T's into them. And run the airline into the T. This way, I'm going to leave those existing Schrader valves on the back bumper. This way, should I be out on the road and the air compressor fail for some reason, I have a means of manually pumping the airbags up still, where with this system you don't have that. So this is what I'm gonna do. Now, why I'm over here to the welding bench, in the last clip I discussed maybe removing that def tank and putting it up there. Well, there was 2 things. As I mentioned in the clip, I really didn't want to disconnect those wires and then run into an issue with it throwing a code that I would have to get somebody to clear, or rerun the tuning program so that it addressed those issues. Or but it's also like a shelf with a tank sitting on top of it, and I didn't want to put the stuff up there either because it's a place that would collect dirt. So let me I'll shut you off and I'll bring you back when I have the truck up on the lift. So why I'm over at the welding table is I made a plate that is going to go onto the side of the frame rail. Now, I'm not bolting it to the frame rail. I'm sandwiching it in between, but I'll show it to you when I get there. So the pieces are going to be installed vertically instead of horizontally, where it could collect dirt under the truck. The one thing really not concerned about dirt under the truck as much as in the winter time where you get all of that salt and stuff up there. I really didn't want that. So I built a plate, but I'll shut you off and I'll bring you back when I get the truck back up on the lift and show you what I've got. Okay, so I'm up under my truck, and what I did is made a plate to mount the ECU, the tank, and the compressor to, and hopefully you can see that. So I've got it all piped up. I brought the wiring back. There's a relay up there that I mounted, and that also grounds the pump. The pump doesn't have a ground wire that goes back to the battery, so it just grounds to the frame. So I've checked all the leaks. What I've done is just hook this up, and when I say I sandwiched it, that's what I did. I didn't want to drill holes through the frame, so what I did is took that piece of plate steel, and then that's a piece of rectangular tube steel, sandwiched it in between. Hang on, let me answer the phone. So again, I just sandwiched that in there. That will get undercoated. I've got to re-undercoat the truck this year. What I did is tied the two lines into each side, but I left the Schrader valves on the back of the truck, and I can double check the pressure. I did double check the pressure, and it is really accurate. I've got it down to 10 pounds now, and it shows 10 pounds on my digital tire pressure gauge. So it is really accurate. They both read 10 pounds. So let me take you up, and what I'll do is I'll kind of show you the harness up in the engine bay. And a little issue I had, that spot right there is from where I put the leak detector on it to make sure there was no leaks. One of the things that I'm glad that I mounted it externally on the outside of the truck, because that compressor, when it runs, is fairly loud. But let me shut you off, and I'll bring you back when I get the truck down and get the hood open. Okay, so here we are up in the engine compartment. I'm going to turn the light on so that you can see a little better. The only issue that I had with this wiring, and let me just set the light on something magnetic. This is the wiring here, the wiring harness. Now I tie wrapped it there. This is a fuse for the thing, and I'm probably screw it into the side somewhere. Might even just leave it like that for now, just so I can get the fuse box open. This yellow wire here was just a bare wire that stuck out, and you have this connection. Well, it's a fuse connection, and it's supposed to go into the fuse box. But let me kind of show you what the issue is here, if I can get this open. The fuses that I have in my fuse box, let me see if I can, if you've got enough light there. The fuses that I have in my fuse box are the small fuses. The newer style fuses. The fuse connection that they sent with the kit is the larger fuse connection. So instead of putting it in the fuse box, it didn't say that it had to be connected to an accessory. It just told you which side of the connection is supposed to be the hot side and which is supposed to be the lead side. It didn't say connected to an accessory fuse where the fuse is off if you turn the vehicle off. Turn the ignition off, let me say. But it didn't say that. It didn't say anything about that. So I just took that fuse connection fit right around the post of that terminal there, and I just connected it right to the battery post. And it works just fine. I'm assuming that because it's connected and it's hot all the time, if for some reason the pressure leaked down while the truck was off, it would probably turn on. The compressor would turn on, but I really don't care. I mean, I leak tested it. I've been kind of screwing around with it, and let me shut the hood and I'll take you back. Again, I'll fix that wiring after I make sure everything is good on it. So one of the things that I did is I increased the pressure. Now I haven't gone up more than 30 pounds, but what I did is I had it at 30 pounds, dropped it down to 5. When it was at 30 pounds, I measured it. It was 22 and 3/8 to the bottom of the hitch, and we're at 21 right now. So in 25 pounds, it dropped 1.25 inches. So why I'm telling you that is what I want to do is sometimes when you've got that trailer loaded, it is hard to crank it up off of the ball. So what I'll do is when the trailer is loaded and I need to disconnect the trailer, what I'll do is I'll take the bags up to like 90 pounds, lower the jacks down to the ground, just put a little pressure on them, and then lower the pressure on the airbags, and what it'll do is it'll drop the ball down out of the hitch so that I don't have to crank the weight up again. I mean, it's not really that bad. When I park the trailer and take the jacks down to the ground so that they're touching the ground, it takes about 34 cranks to get the I count the revolutions on the jack handle post so that I know how far without having to turn around every minute or so and look back at the ball to see if it's off or not. I just counted the cranks, and it takes 34 to get about 1.5 inch gap from the bottom of the trailer hitch to the top of the ball. So you know, what I do is I just start cranking, but when it's heavy, I'll probably get to like 24, 25 and just stop for a second, catch my breath before I start cranking again. Now, when the trailer's unloaded, you can crank it right up. But when it's loaded, it makes a heck of a difference in cranking the thing. So that's what I'll do is when I get to that point, I'll just inflate the bags up and then take it back down again to take it back down so that I can drop that ball out from underneath the hitch without having to break my balls cranking on the thing. And then, you know, I'll just have it deflated when I back up underneath the hitch and then reinflate it, and it should pick it back up again. Or get to the point where it will pick it back up again. Anyways, I'll bring you back. Okay, so here's the controller, and I've got the camera on the tripod running behind the truck so that you can see it inflate. Hold that for 3 seconds, it turns it on. Hold that, you get the both, and I can raise it up 32 pounds and hit enter again, and you'll see it start to raise. What I'm going to do is go in the truck and inflate it. So I just stuck that jack there so that you've got a reference to see it rise up against. I'm not sure what it's down to right now. It might be 10, might be 5. I'm not really sure. What it does is it takes the pressure out of the tank so that you get that initial fill, but what it does is depleted the tank supply down, or didn't deplete it down, but brought it down far enough where the compressor kicked on. So in a minute I'll take you out and show you what the change in the elevation was by measuring it. You'll see it. I've got the camera on the tripod, and you'll see it raise up as it goes up in relationship to that jack post that I put there. But I will take you out and show you with a measuring tape how far it actually went up. I can feel it still going up. And I'm shutting this camera off. And it's about 22.5. So it started out at 21, so it rose up 1.5 inches by inflating at how much? 27 pounds. It went from 5 to 32. Yeah, 27 pounds. All right, that's it for the air compressor install. Just as part of a little shop update, I've got to take this car back again. You know, the guy was in no hurry for it, and he still isn't in a hurry for it, but he wants to get it back, get it plated so that his wife can learn how to drive it and get it out on the road. But anyways, got the mats back in it, and he just, the guy next door, it's a detail shop, just went through it, re-cleaned it up, because it's been sitting in my shop for a while, so it was kind of dusty. He just cleaned it up, went through it again. But there's that. But also got in my shop the vet. You know, it's not mine. It's the guy in the detail shop. He is moving into a bigger shop, a couple of doors down, and really doesn't have a lot of room. So he needed to. He had ceramic coated this, and he needed to someplace to put it. So he asked if he could put it in my shop overnight, and I told him yeah. I think it's a 2019. I don't think it's a 20. Yeah, 2019. I actually did that without having to put glasses on. Maybe I'll set the tripod up, just fire it up. I'm going to take it outside. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to go out there outside and take you and walk you around the truck and show it to you, probably even start it up for you. but I'm not going to put all of the truck details into this clip because it's going to become too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a separate video and post that later in the week on the truck itself, the trip, picking it up, and our experiences with that. So and go through what I'm going to be doing exactly with the truck and what the modifications that are going to be made to it. So here we go. I'm going to take you outside. We'll take a walk around the truck and I'll fire it up for you. Okay, here we go. This is what I went to Colorado to get and what I had showed you a brief glimpse of in my last shop update. This is a 2007 International 7600. I picked it up, like I had said previously, in Craig, Colorado, and this is exactly the way I got the truck. Now, with that being said, I put it on my trailer and pulled it home. So there was a ton of bugs that were splattered on the windshield and the mirrors and stuff like that. So it has been washed since I did that. The outside has been washed. The bugs have been cleaned off for the main part off of the windshield and mirrors, just so that I could get them off of there. So as I said, 2007 International. It's got dual fuel tanks on it. They're the oval or kind of D-shaped tanks, steel tanks. I'm not sure the gallons of them. I've been looking for it, but I can't find that on there. It's a cabin chassis, whatever was installed on there. Let me tell you that originally the truck came from Wyoming, and it was owned by a geological engineering company that did geological testing for basically oil companies for oil and gas deposits. A 2007 has a ISM Cummins engine in it. ISM is a 10.8 liter, or might as well call it 11 liter Cummins engine. Has tandem axles in the back, 22.5 rubber, 11R 22.5 rubber. Has 3 batteries. It actually has a slot for a 4th battery in the battery box. As you can see from the air tanks and from the air chambers on the rear wheels, it is does have air brakes. Yeah, I've got 20 feet of space between the back of the cab and the end of the frame rail, so I can put, my plan is to put a 20-foot bed on it, 20 or 24, depending on what I feel. So the bed, it's going to be a flat bed, and my thinking right now is it's going to be wood deck, of course steel supports, but wood deck, and I'm thinking oak. I can probably get oak fairly cheaply off the Amish down south here, so I'm probably going to go with an oak deck on the thing. My intention is, it's got that 1 5-inch exhaust pipe on there. Probably I am going to be splitting that, and I'm going to be putting dual stacks on it, dual 6-inch stacks on it. But anyways, yeah, there's basically the outside of the truck. And here's kind of a brief shot of the inside. It's got an Eaton Fuller 10-speed transmission in it. It has kind of a bench rear seat on the thing. and I'll take you around and show you the other side. Now I brought my tripod out here because I'm going to turn it on for when I start it up so that I can put the clip of the exhaust in it. Now the driver's seat is air. It's an air ride seat. The passenger seat is not. And as you might have saw from when I got in the driver's side, it has a bench seat in the back with tons of room underneath it to store stuff. But if I do go on a longer haul using this thing, there is plenty of room to be able to sleep on that seat also. Yeah, I'm happy with, real happy with it. Again, let me, I'm gonna flip this camera on now. And we'll go around and start it up for you. Again, Cummins ISM engine, 10.8 liters, 11 liter. That's a low air alarm. Just got to give it a little time to build up. I've got a small air leak someplace in it that's got to be fixed because it does, the air does drain out of it if you leave it sitting for a day. I'm really happy with it. There's probably a couple of spots in the rear where I need some new rubber, but this tire and that tire over there, the two inside tires probably need new rubber, but there's some things that I've got to do before I want to get it registered. I really can't register it and drive it any place without mud flaps or fenders over the top of those wheels, something over the top of the wheels. If I got the deck on it, that could suffice for being cover over the top of the wheels, but I would still need mud flaps in the back of the thing. But anyways, again, I just wanted to show you this briefly. Here it is. Got hauled back by me and my grandson from Colorado, Craig, Colorado, just south of Steamboat Springs. And it was an adventure pulling this up over the Rockies on my trailer in a 6.7 Cummins. But anyways, that's for another video. That's going to be it for this shop update, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, share it if you like.